Nama zo shiri ye, nama o dama shiri zo ha, o namo manjo shiri ye, nama zo shiri ye, nama o dama shiri zo ha, o namo manjo shiri ye, nama zo shiri ye, nama o dama shiri zo ha. Jidan zugi chona lai janjo bado dani gyabzu chi dagi chunyin kibe zonangi rola benje sangi duba jo. Jidan zugi chona lai janjo bado dani gyabzu chi dagi chunyin kibe zonangi rola benje sangi duba jo. Jidan zugi chona lai janjo bado dani gyabzu chi dagi chunyin kibe zonangi rola benje sangi duba jo. Sashi begi jushi me do zhang rira li shi ni de ken ba de sangi shin do mi de uwa yi zhogu nanda shin la ju ba jo. Idan guru rana menda la ka ni ya da ya bi. Please sit in 7 meditative postures of Vajrayana. All sentient beings have been my mothers, and all sentient beings have been my mothers for numberless times. They are as kind as my mothers in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a very small suffering. However, due to engaging wrongly in objects of adoptions and objects of abandonment, they only experience suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings had excellent happiness. May all kind mother sentient beings have excellent happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to have excellent happiness. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if the body of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as pain, sickness, and problems caused by 4 elements. May the body of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the body of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as mental suffering, fear, and coarse and subtle conceptual thoughts. May the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, like those coarse and subtle negative speech, such as telling lies and saying harsh words. May the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. In brief, how nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and its cause. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its cause. I will free all sentient beings from suffering and its cause. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate bodhicitta by asking ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the suffering of samsara and lower realms. However, I do not have the ability to do so now. Who has the ability? Only those who have achieved the state of enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a complete white mundis at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming in one taste with emptiness, the lack of inherent existence. That transforms into a white five-pronged vajra, on top of the moon disk. Next, we meditate for a short while on emptiness, that I exist, neither inherently one with, nor inherently different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist inherently. And as I always say, is that it is very important to conjoin our virtue with the six perfections. So the first one is generosity. Generosity is mainly a mind of giving. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever roots of virtue that I accumulate through my 3 doors, I give it to all sentient beings for achieving their happiness and for pacifying their sufferings. If we are able to cause these minds of giving to manifest, then we will be able to conjoin this session with the practice of generosity. Next is morality, and morality is the minds of abandoning. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal misdeeds and faults so that they do not manifest. If we are able to cause these minds of abandoning to manifest, then we will be able to conjoin this session with the morality. Next is patience, and the nature of patience is an undisturbed mind. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever physical or mental hardship occur, I will be patient with it. I will willingly accept it. Next is joyous effort. The nature of joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtue. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will take delight in the virtue of accumulating roots of virtue, and I will also take delight in working for the welfare of sentient beings. Next is meditative concentration. And the nature of meditative concentration is a mind that single-pointedly focuses on any of the virtuous object. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will properly focus my mind on the virtuous object, and I will guard my mind against the conceptual thoughts and distractions. Next is wisdom. And wisdom is an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena, or it can be an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes the objects of abandonment and objects of adoptions. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will properly understand the benefits of doing so, such as if I engage in Dharma by listening, contemplations, and meditations, then I will be able to achieve the state of liberations. I will be free from unfree states, and I will be able to achieve the state of enlightenment. And I also understand the faults of not doing so. The faults of not engaging in Dharma is my afflictions will arise, and due to the arising of afflictions, I will engage in a negative karma. And because of this negative karma, I will be reborn in the lower realms. So in particular, I will properly understand the words and meanings of the teachings. Set a good motivation for the sake of all other sentient beings. By all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I will properly listen to the commentary on the holy teaching, Heart Sutra, and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings.
Oh yeah, thank you. That telling us on Golma, Tomagi, Sheroni, but our hands, Hiroshiwa, Sheroni Boran, and Joabachi. That's all you know, Madiamade, Umaji Tisarima, is to get Zawa, the Numari Rendatuna. The Tata is some of the the Zawa for cutting Gorma, Sheroni Boran, Susan Patient, no, the Tajina.
Yeah, so please refer to your own Heart Sutra. So I would explain based on the Heart Sutra itself. So Heart Sutra itself has lesser words if you compare it to the commentary. So please refer to your Heart Sutra.
That Javarka is a Kasi Chisharing as a Tinji Toma, a Javaka Mea the Gubade, Takela Pacha, Jova Jula Shilenjo, Tinju Kunzim Bacheta, that Javaki the member is Tamuderwa, as a Kun Punjino. The Jose Soya, Takasi Chisharing as one time Yaroa. Dile Matam down with this salon Tristan to that.
So it's good to do markings on your Heart Sutra as well. When you recite Heart Sutra, then you those marking will be able to remind you of those meaning. So it starts from in the language of India, Bhagavati Prakya Paramita Shrutaya. So why the the Indian language is mentioned here is because it will leaves a good imprint in one's mind stream, and then it grants blessings. One will be able to receive the blessings, and it also shows that it is of authentic source.
다 정도되면 제주 발전 님보스 다시 미데 로비 생들와데 안데 생들다 디나우 단다 정말 그 가서 이제 제사이다 이제 지구 지금입니다 이제 너무 마찬가지로 좋아지는 샤미로와 다 정도되면 제주 발전 님보스와 간다 좀 뒤에서 와서 정말 휴사를 간다 저런 님보 생들와 다 간다 내 마스와데 제주 발전 님보스와 도도 된다 되니는 와 마스와데 간다 희신들의 돈도 희신들의 희신들 또바 텔라 간다 이군다 마지 타니 잡아냈어요. 이군다 마지 타니 잡아야 기제데 다 뒤선지 상지 간가데 텔라 때니 때 간다 상지 버레스 투마레스 지고레 로와 뭐 뒤선자 다 마다 용지 타니 잡아냈어요. 로와 히럽데레 간다 마다 용지 타니 잡아서 히 돈도 비셔라 대가 말해 희신데
So in the language of Tibet, so it's called Chumden Deva Shiraki Parutu Chimbe Ningbo. So I'm not going to explain the meaning of this text, the meaning of this title anymore. So because we have already gone through it, and if I were to explain it, then it would take a long time. Then we will not have much time to for question and answer. So just to give a very brief explanation with regard to this title. So there is a ma here, right? So ma is mother, or in Tibetan there is another word also translated as mother as well. So it's either ma or yum. So it's also translated as mother. So the mother here refers to the perfection of wisdom that realizes emptiness. So why is the mother word used? Is because conquerors or Buddhas of the three times are born in dependence on this. Therefore, is called ma or yum. In English, it's mother.
다 간다 님보 세와도 가서 저런 님보 대 간다 용 제대 디선지 대 간가 님보 스디네다 디나 소제르 세고로와 다 디르와
And why is it called heart or the essence? Is because it condenses all the meaning from all the meanings of the extensive, middling, and short perfection of wisdom of mother.
다 저런 님보라 간다 방부지 요래 생각서 방부 내시 당하나 실 반다스당들 저런 님보라 쇼노가 내시 당하나 방부지 주요로와 다 신다들 저다 반다스당한테서 만나와 요래 어디 방부지 세대리로와
And Heart Sutra has 25 verses. So sometimes they are count. The way they count as a section is different. So, however, for Heart Sutra, there are 25 verses in Heart Sutra, and this 25 sutra is counted as one section.
다 뒤지는 것은 되게 대바 뒤지는 중대의 제비가 샤기 공부를 하는 거 컨디션 받아 샤니스도 컨디션 탑지도 휴대 대바다 가서練習 練習들라 티모 뭐 이거 니요로와 그 티모한테 휴대에서 대바다 티모하지 와
So then, obeisance to the transcendent and victorious perfection of wisdom. Thus, here one time, the Bhagavan was abiding in one method on part of virtuous peak in Rajagriha, together with the great sangha of monks and the great assembly of bodhisattvas. So these words in green color, I highlighted in green color, are those because following the commentary, and also the words are there. So, however, when they translated into English, these in one method somehow is omitted. So I just put here so that when you read the commentary, then you know that there are words like in one word in this sentence. So this is the prologue or introductions. So prologue has two. One is common one, another one is uncommon. So here is the common prologue.
다 간다練習 티모와스라고 해주세요. 가서나 다練習 티모와스에 간다 갑도와 보듯이 간다 토마 시신도 셔름이고 지고 말이다 시신도 마부 여러와 사마 간다 티모라 간다 ndegeda kuteba tichinaze ndo kanga bekka doa ko do ni chanzang be do so go chanzang go la wa o do so yo res sherini bo 지고 말했어. 기신도 강가라 간다. 또 수송 성자. 네, 팀모 와서 내시 팀모 와서 나보야 진짜 되는 거. 까도디.
Yeah. So why is it called a common prologue? Because it is common to others sutra of perfection of wisdom, perfection of wisdom sutra as well. So when the compiler, when they compile the sutra or compile the words, the Buddha's words, then they added these at the beginning of the they added these at the beginning of the compilations. Therefore, it is common to other perfection of wisdom sutra as well.
다디 디모 디가서 치레레는 마시 쉬야미 디가서 가서 피순서바 시팅 거래 다디 치카와 때문에 같이 쇼사로와 피순서바 시팅 거래 다 피순서바 나츠바이나 이셔는 뭐 코란스나 되고 와 공을 돈데 마시 빨리 님보 디츠나 되고 거래 피순서바 나츠바이나 단다 디가서 피순서바 시팅 거래 와 디모 리스티
센데 그냥 지나로
와 센지나 네 최피순서바 때문에나 셔는 뭐 코란스로 와 So
in this common prologue, it shows the four perfections. Yeah, it shows four perfections or four excellences. So I'm not going to go through it. So sometimes they call it five perfections or five excellences. So on top of these four, then added with the perfect teachings. So the perfect teachings refers to the teachings itself, which is the Heart Sutra. So the uncommon prologue starts from, at that time, the transcendent victor was absorbed in the samadhi on the categories of phenomena called perceptions of the profound.
다들 팀모 많이 벌려고 다 싫으니 뭐 선배가 벨링시 팀모 많이 받지 마도 너 신아 요 말에서 되나시 와 예선자 다 팀모 많이 봐서 되게 싶어.
Why is it called uncommon prologue? Because this prologue is uncommon to other perfection of wisdom sutra.
다들 팀모 많이 받디 가서 가서 취지시대 다들 지레레 로그미야 러사로와 주사래 뒤에 가서 간다 취지시대 다 수도 선지 여러와 제일 좀 먹어와 취지시대 그래서
So in this uncommon prologue, it shows the four attributes. So which, since I have already mentioned to you, I will not go through it. So this is he says also at that time the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, the superior Avalokitesvara was observing the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom and saw that those five aggregates also as empty of inherent existence. So this is the cause of asking the questions to Avalokitesvara. Also at that time, refers because at that time the transcendent victor was absorbed in the samadhi on the categories of phenomena called perceptions of the profound, right? So also at that time, then the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, the superior Avalokitesvara was observing the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom in accordance with the transcendent victor. So Avalokitesvara here was observing the practice, was thinking about the meaning of the profound perceptions. Avalokitesvara did not absorb in the samadhi on the categories of phenomena called perceptions of the profound. So Avalokitesvara at that time only observing, only thinking about the meaning of the profound perfection of wisdom. Avalokitesvara did not absorb in the samadhi.
다 가시기 야 제레제 소모동반이나 냠바샤리 슈디 요레세 너니 든지 지난데 와 두와 예 로바이 나니 와서 용달라베 세 제레제 두자 팀모이랑 가서 장주스면 넘바티 인도로와 두자 팀모이랑 거 장주스면 넘바티 도와다시나 단 냠바샤바 많이 슬럽 냠바샤바 많이 블로그에 주제 가서 먼저 센치이나 간다 냠바샤 시비간에 때 예신체를 최대 두고 말해서 최대하다 돌린 제도 말해서 다 상지는 넘버 샤시는 간에 간다 다 매물 힌도 때 두고 쓰고와 어디 디순자 다 디순자 때 간다 제레스 간다 다 넘버 샤바 많이 또 많이 되나 두선시 소모방의 슈디 레스나 디스타 대원의 요르다디.
So the other commentaries, it says that Chenrezig was absorbed in the samadhi of perceptions of the profound as well. So some commentaries do explain in this way. So however, Chenrezig or Avalokiteshvara manifests as a bodhisattva to the disciples. So Avalokiteshvara manifests himself as a bodhisattva to the disciples. So since a bodhisattva is still a sentient beings. So when sentient beings absorb in the meditative equipoise, sentient beings cannot at the same time give Dharma teachings or have Dharma discussions or have Dharma dialogue. Only Buddha, while absorbing in a samadhi, able to give teachings, able to guide disciples. The Buddha or enlightened beings able to do it without any effort.
oi da dirinda da di olmaida da dine sanji imti tsela dimba kyori bi chanju simba timba jima papa jine de wonshin de giji meso zindwa giji meso so da dile kanda sanjo dene sama sanjo da de sanji ki pe shari boda kanda shari boda kires ne kala da joda lena ki pe shinji la ba dine this shari boda kires ne ki ranto ji pe joa chitu ba mai ba rantoji pele nanto wa maiba disonza de sanji ma shinji loya bite jijo da sanjo da samande lewa.
So then, by the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, the superior Avalokiteshvara. So in this sentence, it has transitions or the connecting passage, and he also talks about Shariputra asking the questions, and he also talking about Buddha blessed Shariputra to ask the questions, and also blessed Chenrezig to give the answer. So why he says by the power of the Buddha is because Shariputra wasn't able to ask the questions by his own power. Therefore, Buddha blessed him, and then Venerable Shariputra asked the questions.
다 되기질라 다 조항원이들 다 조항에 리지부 강나라 시지 버르지고 삼이 집어지만 되버리 주달라바 샤 다 조항원이 다 들다 너 실리버 다 원에 조아디 들다 조항에
리기 부모라.
리지부 강나라 시지 버르도 신기스도아
리기 부모 연아이들.
부모들 다 가시는 자르스도 제가 배자 가시는 열스도 근데 들 maybe one time 도아 맞은 조아들 메두 리지부 강나라 시지 버르지고 삼이 집어지만 되버리 주달라바 샤스나 가실라도서 요리 야 마다바레세 니 가실로니도 다 간다 빼서 늘 믿고 와
아주 단다 데테나랑 바기
늘 믿고
제와나 나서 yeah then
시간에 뭐 코로나 다 되기
so how should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the profound perfection of wisdom? So this is the actual questions. So and some versions of our sutra, then it has the word or daughter of the lineage. Then some say that, if you add the word or daughter of the lineage, then it becomes not authentic or not the exact one. So however, some versions of the Heart Sutra, it has the words or daughter of the lineage, some do not have.
다 된다 도와도도 된디에 시대가 된다라고 돼. 다 간다 다 삶의 동반이 되게 하장 그 자체모 싶지나야 다 들라 간다 냐네 지역에 대와 연주 다 리치보다 부모지 간리나 다 된다데 간라라서 리고 리치보다 부모 간리지나 간다 냥설인데 연케지 와 간다 소지랑다 조이랑다 통연하다 고민하다 물어볼 랑치가서 내 간디 러브레스 들어와 간디 러브레스 다 간다 줘야 되리와 소모동반 지대들라 간디 러브레스 다 줘야 도도 되다 랑아볼 받자 군자 다 랑아볼 되랑아서 냥스 nem발라 때니 내 상지 공부 통고로와 어디에 가서 어디 소자다 내 상어 뒤로 다 간다 맞아 랑아를 배면에 지야 간디 친구에 상어데 디는 줘야 되는 뒤로
So this is the actual questions. So the meaning of this is when we explain this sentence or explain the actual questions and this word, son or daughter of the lineage who wish to train in the profound perfection of wisdom, how should they train? So how should those son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage train train in the train in the profound meaning on the path of accumulation, preparation, seeing, meditations, and no more learning.
다 되게 집에 받아서 다 좋아 주시게 계좌를 다데 맞아 가실에 야디지 야자나 디스 쳇반데 디 가도 지달라와 샤 되게 집에 받아서 와 되게 집에 받아서 다 좋아 주시게 계좌를 해서 그러다가 셔리보게 다 제리를 봐
So he said this. He said this. So here it says, it shows that Shariputra asked the questions. So already asked his questions. So the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, the superior Avalokiteshvara said this to Venerable Sharavatiputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the profound perfection of wisdom should view it in this way. So this is the transitions or the connecting passage in the answer part, in the Avalokiteshvara's answer.
다 공부하고 대다 장아 이 동반나와 양다가 지스타오 저 린도 데들 린도 데 다 디가서 가서 소조라 기자 소조라마 등을 다 랑와요
수주기 럭주로
소방다 변화지 갔어 다 데시고
럭주
오 럭주데
So an Avalokiteshvara answer is of two types. The first type is a short answer, and he says they should correctly view those five aggregates also as empty of inherent existence. So this shows the modes of training on the path of accumulation and path of preparation.
다 증득이 지금에 다 가서 제서라 다 되신다고 말로와 다 레제보다 마수 동반에서 술에 동반이게 많이 동반이게 자수게 많이 그 대기도 소화된 되기는 되기는 넘바기 바나 동바 오세 다 간다 이니만 레제보다 고수 다 간다 레제보다 고수 그래서 니만
고주기와라
고주기와라
that's all. Then the extensive answer starts from form is emptiness, emptiness is form, emptiness is no other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. So again, this in the English version, the one we have, then you have to add this word also.
that ma shitsai that diga sonala justre kan that diga sojoni la labsati roa de number kiban kumba was de badroa de so that de wal that tonal was de ka that tonal was de that chari bati da chena je tomani de cheni me ma je ba manga ba tumanda tumada cha tuano kame ba was that da yi kuna su tomani zure tomani je ma de samu yijo da ka shitsara ni shitsara diga samu yijo de ora samu yijo su tomani su sule tomani su ge ma diga samu yijo de res samu yi wa.
So here up to this, from here to here is it shows the modes of training on the path of accumulation and path of preparations. Then from here onwards, and it talks. Then it starts the modes of training on the path of seeing. And here, back to here, form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is no other than form. Form is also no other than emptiness. So this shows the four modes of emptiness or four profound attributes.
다 간다 더 다디가 소주니가 러랑 디바 지르와 number Hibana Tomba or Debat. That Tona was Ligore, that Sheriff did the Chetan Tomba, the Tini, Majiba Mangava, Tomata, Toronto, Kame, what's that debate? That is some number Jirwa. That Tonaka, some J share the Tonaka,
sorry, 4 modes of emptiness or 4 profundities. So then in the modes of training on the path of seeing, then it talks about 8 profound attributes. So he says, Shariputra, thus all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not diminished, unfulfilled. So these are the 8 profound attributes.
That seems to hear me, that we talk about it. That go on my share. That gonna cause that goes to the Sheriff data in a company that soon and so on and the human number of him and now the name Jim, you may soon return the Jimmy Roman region, the Chin Meadow or say that they might still Gona loses she would Tamu Pumbonga, she would do Pumbonga.
Is it called Patuin actually?
That Gona loses she will mark go to your dinner. That Sheriff getting a company that soon and so on and him, the number of him is Tamu Pumbonga. Pumbonga loses.
So the modes of training on the path of meditation starts from Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, etc. So here, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, and no consciousness. So here it shows the 5 aggregates.
That Pumbonga Tijilla, that Chinchi Tony, that Mime, Nawame, Name, Jimmy, Lime, Sume, Drami, Jimmy, Roman, Regime, Chin Meadow, so they put the Chinchi Tony. No Chinchi Tony.
So, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no tangible object, and no phenomena. So it shows 12 sources.
That they will me come by the each number you can't by the meadow, so they come to G. Come to the come to the list.
Come to the list.
Come to the list. Come to the
So there is no I constituent or element, and so on up to and including no mental constituent and no mental consciousness constituent. So here it shows 18 elements.
That make it come when easy come as a dig they won't be come to it. Make it come when easy come as it was. They won't be come to.
They won't be come to.
They won't be come to.
So there is no I constituent and so on up to including no mental constituents. So up to here. So here it shows the support. The support 6 elements of the sense powers.
That each number he can't bother your meadows and what the timber he can't do. Understand that me by you can't do the shula the rest of diggers. Timber he can't do that. That me by you can't do that.
Timber come to
that. Timber he can't do that. That me by you can't do.
Me by you can't do.
Me by you can't do. They come to you.
And no mental consciousness constituent. So here it shows the 6 elements of the sense consciousness, the supported. So supported, and objects of observation. So from here up to here, it talks about, it shows the support, the 6 elements of sense power, and no mental consciousness constituent. Here it explicitly shows the 6 elements of the supported, the 6 sense consciousness, 6 elements of consciousness. And implicitly, it shows the objects of observation, the 6 elements of object.
That is a thing Mariba Sepa Gashi body and meadow. That they can Mariba Mesa or they can attend a lunch in the Shibarista and
So explicitly it talks about the 6 the supported, and implicitly it talks about the objects of observation. So there is no ignorance, no extinctions of ignorance, so on up to including no aging and death, and no extinctions of aging and death. It shows that the 12 links of dependent arising.
Mariba Seba me by the Gashi May, so the pinning Mushi in the United Kingdom. Mariba Seba me by the Gashi May, so what Degas pinning Mushi in the United Kingdom. Gashi May, that one of Gashi City by their metal was a bit non-jacket in the United Kingdom.
Yeah. So there is no ignorance, no extinctions of ignorance, and so on up to including no aging and death. So it shows the troublings of dependent arising of thoroughly afflicted. And this no extinctions of aging and death, it shows the troublings of dependent arising of completely pure.
다 간다 이 내무시 땡겨 조리를 당 가서 코안 주당지를 받으려와 이 내무시 땡겨서 코안 주당지를 받으리 나자가 땡겨서 당 코알아 도당지를 받아야 간다 와 나자가 땡겨다 다 간다 도당지를 받으리 코알에 도당지를 받 이 내무시 땡겨서 코알은 주당지를 받으시고 왔다 와
So the troublings of dependent arising of thoroughly afflicted shows the stages of entering into the samsara. And troublings of dependent arising of completely pure shows how one turned away from samsara.
그때다 마리바 이 너무지 때는 마리바라다 진진디 디지치로 디지치 나시 치브리스 투스 마리바 치랑도 와 어디 이 너무지 때는 다 나자기 때는 될 받고 와 다 될 돈이 다 마리방가비 된 디신가로 그런 디신가비 나신가로 그래 돼 간다 지왕가시 가시가로 그래서 무슨 말인가 와
So the troublings of dependent arising of thoroughly afflicted, to explain this is due to ignorance, coming formations arises, and due to coming formations, consciousness arises. So this is the troublings of dependent arising of thoroughly afflicted. And troublings of dependent arising of completely pure shows that how one turns away from samsara, right? So then it says that due to the extinctions of ignorance, coming formation ceases, and due to the extinctions of coming formations, then consciousness ceases.
다 뒤져서 대신도 등어와다 근종와다 고바다 나오는 힘에 도바야 모토바야 매도세 시고도 어다데 동아 뎀바시다 다 이시 호라나 보는 거래 와 나자 이시 하나 고쳐 이시 매서 와데 이시 매서 나자 이시 다 토바다 모토바야 매서 와데 다 간단 데와 시서 데바다 다 토바샤이 치아메스 와
Debutiro.
O toba she che o dia yomares matobi ro tonjeta toba manibi deta matoba yomares ro
Yeah. So similarly, there is no suffering, origin, cessation, and path. So it shows the Four Noble Truths. And there is no exalted wisdom. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. So the exalted wisdom here, as it refers to the wisdom of meditative voice, and no attainment means that there is no attainment of the results. There is no attainment of the results. And also no non-attainment means that there is no non-attainment of object to be attained and non-objects of attainment. So also no non-attainment means that there is no non-attainment of object to be attained in the future, and there is no non-attainment of what is the non-object of attainment. So no non-attainment of non-object of attainment.
다디 이제 마토바 메도서 다디 고나로로스 다디 이제 참고와 고나로스 참고 다 간다디 고나로스 좀 제바이나 가서 간다 소화면 대시면 대시 매서 장자 로고도 와 오다디 로야 다 상방사의 신으로 다 된다라고 다디 된다데 간다 디레 장시 주와 maybe 시작 전에 다 간다 최 간디지난 디지 최단 디마시 최 간디나 다 장시 주와 뜻상야 요 말에서 간다 된다 디지와 장이 두고 뜻상 요 말이스 다 장이 두고 뜻상 매바 마지 저 동반이라 냠바시 로바바비 냐샤이 시기 싱오텔라 냐샤기 싱오텔라 야 나와 요 말이스 나샤기 오니소비 싱오레 간다 오니라 냠바시 나샤이 시기기 다 토니시비 싱오텔라 다 군조 최 자원이네 나와 요 말이 대가서 베니나 소마노 군조 최 나와 요 말이 덴두기 나와 요 말이 유다 이게 타디기 나와 요 말이 나와 그거 눈들 때가 와 나와 그거 가사 다 내가 나한테 가르치고 된다대로 돈이 집어 맞아 요 말이야. 어디서가 다 나샤게 생각나. 네, 된다 들려줘. 좋아. 어디 너도 된다 하고 봐지.
군조기 취다 안에 된주지 상마디 난게
된주지 나와요. 뭐 군조지 나와요 말이스.
음.
다 이대지 타되게 나와요 말이스.
So up to this point is the mode of training on the path of meditations. So in relation to this path of meditations, so I say there are many words, there are many no's in these sentences, like no form, no feeling, no mind, no object of touch, no taste, and so on up to no mental constituents and etc. Right? So there are many no's in the context of mode of training on the path of meditations. So we have to understand the meaning. What does it mean by no in this context? So in general, then I say you can, in general, you should understand no in this context refers to lack of inherent existence, absence of inherent existence. So there is what it means by no, lack or absence of inherent existence. So whether it is a compounded phenomena or whether it is an uncompounded phenomena, there is none of the phenomena could exist. None of the phenomena exists inherently. Not even an atom of it exists inherently. So, and also in the perceptions of an Arya's meditative equipoise on emptiness. So, in the perceptions of Arya's wisdom of meditative equipoise, so there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination. It means that there is no conventional appearance, and there is no truly existent appearance, and there is no appearance. There is no appearance in which the object and the object possessor. There is no appearance in which object and object possessors appears differently. So there is no such appearance. There is no such appearance in the perceptions of an Arya's wisdom of meditative equipoise. So what does it only has emptiness? The only thing that it appears in the perceptions of an Arya's wisdom of meditative equipoise is emptiness.
다 셔리브 대다이나서 다 물어난 곳에 셔리브 대다이나 전주 심마나 도반이 시셔르지 바로 심발라 땡기네 생각 디바메 도바메 시절로 힘든 양면이 다시 뒤서 넘어지고 상지 던져 셔리지 바로 시험 때 나나면 한다고 저기 넘어져 봐 상지에서 오세 와 다데 물어난 말에서 시구다 돼 봐도
Yeah. So the mode of training on the path of no more learning, it says, therefore, Shariputra, because bodhisattvas have no attainment, they rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who abide in the three times also manifestly, completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment through relying on the perfection of wisdom. So here it shows the mode of training on the path of no more learning.
다 네가 된다는 간다 대하노래 다 돈이도 비셔럽 되라 삼미지바 삼미지바 돈도 비셔럽 되라 내간다 공부 지비 대 도지 내간다 세라 디바트서 파 도도하다 간다 잡아요 말이스 시질로 디바트서 파도니 대 양해를 되비 미니비 냥데데 살람 두고리스 미니비 냥데라 살람 두고 다 미니비 냥데 살세니 다 물어나 토로와 미니비 냥데 살세 물어나 토로거든 어디 토로거리스 와 디수 넘바 디수 넘바 기비 상지 탄제자 베티니 시신 데라 데네 내가라 양다 돈 상지 공부에 토바레세 다디 동마지지나 다리레니 휴사로와
밀로람라 레기로
다 물어나 토로와
토기로
탈신도 어서 다간다 양일레 돈이도 비셔 대 공부라 데니 내간다 디바 가는 거리 시디자 자는 거리 뉴디 카리네 소마테 다간다 트라니 대 상지 사람 누구래 타시는 거예요. 다 pompa 타시 또반 타시 마스터리 pompa 타시데 상제사 또반 타시가 토사디 대 상제사
pompa 타시마
대 pompa 타시마 양은 되면 타시려디 pompa 타시마 차는 거래 대 또반 타시마 토는 거래 와 pompa 타시 필요 치는데 원이고 토는 거래 원이고 pompa 타시마 토디 원이고 또바 타신바 토디 이시추고 토는 거죠. 그러와
또바 타신바데 디
또바 타지고 타신비도 이시추고 토는 거래. 다 이시추고 토는 또 뭐로 토는 거야. 다 뻔바 타투바를 토는 때 하는 타신어디 때 원이고 토는 거.
Yeah, so by meditating, so here he talks about how's it the mode of training on the path of no more learning, right? So he talks about the mode of training. So by meditating on the wisdom, realizing emptiness that analyzes the ultimate, or that analyzes the profound. Sorry, that analyzes the profound. So then one will be able, the mind will be without obscurations. So by meditating on the wisdom, the realizing emptiness, that wisdom of emptiness that analyzes the profounds, then one's mind will be without obscurations. So one's mind will be free of the afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations, and without fear. So one's mind will be free of fear, and one also completely pass beyond error as well. And one will reach the end point of nirvana, which is the non-abiding nirvana, the state of enlightenment, or one will achieve the path of no more learning. So if you meditate again and again, then you will achieve the path of no more learning here. So here it talks about the mode of training, right? So if you train in this way, you will achieve the non-abiding nirvana, the state of enlightenment, or the Buddha ground. So you will also achieve the perfect abandonment and also perfect realizations as well. So perfect abandonment, when you achieve the perfect abandonment, then you achieve the nature truth body. And when you achieve the perfect realizations, you achieve the wisdom truth body. So achievements of these two bodies are at the same time. So which basically refers to the state of enlightenment.
다 대단히 저기 버리시면 와서 다 니엔지 다 원이라 원들라 당스들이로 다 니엔지 이거 봐도 상제소서 니엔지의 원들라 당스들이에서 단디마 원이라 당스시고 와 원이라 봐 받으시오리로.
So everything up to this point is meant for the disciples of Tao faculties, and then the following one is the instructions for those of Sha faculties.
다 원이라 담바다 대단히 저기 버리시면 와 리퍼지는 거 나나면 뭐 명받아 명부가 되는 데 효하시는 거 무지발라 dem바시 바샤디 저기 버리시면 뭐 되는 거가 벌어서 모디 소와시 어디디 다들 가시면 참았던 리시제서다 리시제마도 지와.
So the instructions for those disciples of Sha faculties says, therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that completely pacifies suffering should be known to be true, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared that Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhi Soha. So since I have already explained the meaning of this mantra already, I will not go through it again.
다 간다 저기 버리시면 와 세월인도와 간단하게 가서 동안의 생활을 고해 말이에요. 네가서 저기 버리시면 와서데 시시 돈이도 비시신 코로나랑 받지 않는 거래. 돈이도 비시신 코로나. 와 돈이도 비시로 시시 코로나 전때 가서 취사랑이 주원을 쓰지잖아. 주원은 요러와. 주원은 소사이 what is jan스는. 다 되는데 시신 코로나 하잖아요. 그 시로지 8월 신병 아인데 그 거의 저도 8월 신바 시그리 세워는 거다. 다 리퍼 신병 아인데 다 녀모만 좀 바시그리 해서 다 간다. 그래서 말이는 같이 기초자리 지나 두가는 요러와.
녀몽 좀 봐.
녀몽 좀 봐서 잡고와.
Yeah, so you can see there are many the words mantra here, right? So the mantra here doesn't refer to the sutra or the mantra, doesn't refer to that sutra or tantra. So here the mantra refers to the perfection of wisdom, realizing emptiness. The perfection of wisdom, realizing emptiness is what the word mantra refers to in this context. So, like for example, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, as it enables one to cross the oceans of samsara, and the mantra of great knowledge, as it has the ability to destroy afflictions such as ignorance, for example. So this I have included these questions and included these in the quiz. So when you refer to it, then you will know about it.
다 되게 가지 돼. 결이 chanju simba chim비스 가시 요게 돼 좋아지 돼. 디칼 좋아래. 땅이 때마 드린 듯이 지야이. 가싱이 chanju simba chim비스 와서 제레스라 고그레스 니 러레 디니 로조도 노샤한다. 디니 시와 로조도 노샤와 디고나스 참을. 디 간다. 다디 가성이 미시코야 안데와 신달을 도서 미시 따우디. 내 결혼이 뭐 치대. 디스 라고도 돼.现在来看是处理交的，小里边长期simba全部南极些，可是希望个主要当然的，南极日记不的日记不忙不去，讲的工作是嘛当啥的，但你长期simba全部几过来，人都是看见的是嘞，那主要的点，那的主要的要不就知道哇，我到这里面来的，可是你但长期simba全部说的，接着这个效果是，可是的老板的，这人们都拿上哇，我的。So this
next is Shariputra. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom in that way. So in previous class, Xiao asked the questions why the son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage is not used here since these words appears frequently in the Heart Sutra. Why the word son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage is not used here instead of this Bodhisattva Mahasattva? So and then I explained that this Bodhisattva Mahasattva refers to Genrezi or the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. So the way I explain Bodhisattva and Bodhisattva Mahasattva as Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, and it was wrong. So I apologize. So and I referred to others' commentaries. Then others' commentaries, the way they explain, the words they use is different from the root text or the Heart Sutra itself.
디 시리 저우데 디탑 데워도 간다. 맞소 마 당사의 디가서 개체 당하리도 안다 전주 심바 첨부 넘지 데다 현재 바로 저 사무라 라바 샤오스네 개체 개체진에 마 담아도 마 차로 와. 다 개체 당받을 해서 그게 개체부 진에 마 당받을 해서 라브레사 딜라우리 다 칸스 시와게 좋아 당하다 너는 데와 다다 레고래. 전주 심바 첨부 넘지 있으리 다 나오서도 디자바이나 데와 신달을 잡아 나시 they nam de jaba ina de nam de changju simba ma si de ko ne de rangja pe ta sherin mo ma dansa pe lo ma yons to pa pe changju dinalo ta kana dinalo nam jo dinalo wa o dinalo di chamal dang lo re se ko da changju simba jibo ma iba wa o di de pa de shi se shi she de wa
第一个是讲是先把研究一点说了。
我年纪人家就被枪杀，但可动他忙不着啊，我打枪杀了不能不的是，但那的枪就先把枪毙是几步来，但可开始打把的离过了，如果那是气度，但那可打把的来是多。
So so then I referred to other Heart Sutra, so other versions of Heart Sutra, and I also referred to other commentaries on the Heart Sutra. Then they says Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. So in Tibetan their words added to it is namki. So nam is a plural, so it makes the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. So and by adding the words Tibetan word nam to this Bodhisattva Mahasattva, then it is easier to explain or to give commentary give word commentary on the Heart Sutra itself. So when the word nam is added to Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, so then it's clearly that it doesn't refer to Bodhisattva Mahasattva only, then it also includes other entourage at that place. So for example, hearers, solitary realizers, and there are many others entourage at that place as well, right? So Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, or Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, and others. So yeah, one can understand this way. So the word nam is a plural word. So the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas also includes the other entourage at that place as well. Because this sentence, Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom in that way, is an instructions to show how important it is to train in this. So it's an instructions to show that it is important to train this way.
That wala ngazo jisi rangi sin mali udwa ta tine chonde le tingi de tele shen de ese ta tine pe ta jere si chua simba tine kanda chonde le tingi de le shen de chanju simba simba papa chere se wachila leso pe tuji che pe tuji bi shawa shine ta leso le riji bo de de chida chi temba de do je parje samola che ba chi de wala de jisi yorang o se ta de pa da rido kanda
Jisi rang o
jisi rang
ko pa ta
jisi rang o
jisi rang o de kaza de jisi rang yeah so yeah so then the next is how say one of the how say next part is one part by itself so or section. So the third sections or the third part is how that was admired by the teacher. And he says, then the transcendent victor rose from that samadhi and commended the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, the superior Avalokiteshvara, saying this is excellent. So I changed a little bit because like this one, saying this is excellent, then the full stop here. So again, in English translations, when you do the word commentary, then this word is omitted. So also like the versions that you have, then it says like saying well done, right? So this well done. So like this word saying this is excellent is omitted in the English translation. So I highlighted in green color. And then excellent son of the lineage, it is just so, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated, even the Tathagatas admire this or rejoice. So this is the part, the rejoicing part. So excellent or well done, or yeah, excellent or well done, you can use it interchangeably.
de kanda chungdi de kanda tingi de shin number 7 bare se da kanda tenda dirwa tingi de nyamba shaba de singila 7 bare number ya shimba dio tingi de ya shimba dio 7 bare se kanda de reswa de kanda chiri de ba chiri zarta de shin su le se hishawa shin sta shin su ka ma de warwa de kanda chirang de temba de pe ne ta number de pe ya kuntus pe 2G bitone ta les mi mi ta so shitsar tarwa mo bo shima ga ba chi sanji chode rani bina tuji ba ma te tiji ba khama ta kada tuji ba ta je sing la chi wuri ese ta tenda derwa ta ma dong je ta re ni shusar ka shima ga bu se me derwa
yeah so this is how that was admired by the teacher. So it says the transcendent victor rose from that samadhi. So again here transcendent victor manifests himself rising from the samadhi. So at the beginning part, transcendent victor was absorbed in the samadhi, right? So again, at the beginning part, the transcendent victor manifests himself absorbing in a samadhi. So similarly here, the transcendent victor manifests himself rising from that samadhi. So and then and praise that and praise Avalokiteshvara saying well said, son of the lineage, etc. And then it follows by the words, the approved words. So there are a few types of Buddha's words, right? So this is one of the one type of it. One type of the Buddha's words. So it's approved words or words added with the permissions of Buddha. So basically here it talks about not only the Buddha rejoice, even the Tathagatas in the 10 directions and also gods, humans, asuras, they all rejoice and praise the words spoken by the Bhagavan. So the Transcendent Victor, having said this, the Venerable Sharavati Putra, the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, the Superior Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding India entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised the words of the Transcendent Victor. Yeah, so this is the approved words. Yeah, so we finished the Heart Sutra, and yeah, so it's not taught in a way that is has a very how's it very how's it things yeah, so it's not taught in a very profound way. So, however, we only give a brief explanations on the Heart Sutra. So, based on our level of understanding, so I only explain it in a brief way. So, however, since we have already gone through it, it is very good, and it's also my exhortations to all of you that I would like to request you to recite this Heart Sutra. Since Heart Sutra is a very short text, so I would like to request you to recite Heart Sutra once a day. And when you read the Heart Sutra, then it is very good to think about the meaning of those words, and also to think about what these words show. So there are many things, like, for example, the 4 profundities, 8 profound attributes, etc. Right? So it's very good to think about those meaning and what does it show behind those words. So if you're able to do so, then you will receive the benefits of accumulating extensive merit every day. Yeah, so usually we do a lot of studying, right? So do a lot of studies. So, and the biggest problem that I find, that we commonly have it is, we do not habituate ourselves with whatever that we have learned, and because when you study a lot of Dharma text, which is good, however, but if you do not habituate yourself with it, then it seems like you will come to a situations that when you read again the same text, the text that you have learned before, then you have nothing to think about. When you read those texts, when you read those words, then you have nothing to think about. So it's very important to habituate ourselves with text or with teachings that we have learned before. So if we are able to, read those texts, read like Heart Sutra, and then think about the meaning again and again every day, so then those words and the meanings will stick to your mind, right? Some, even though not entire, not the whole thing, but some words and some meanings will stick into your mind, right? It is much better if you compare it to, you do not read it at all, and then once a while only you take out the Heart Sutra and read, then most probably you have nothing to, you will not remember anything with regard to the Heart Sutra.
This is condition the Chambore Jade, Jelen that you say in a desert samade, Jelakanda to train samadi. The Jelema was a cellular bashrain. There is a little chance to separate towards the quiz towards the chance of Montine, to say about Montine is sounds on a Lodina, the so is a Pendo Yaway. Also, Kanda sharing your social account to the Toronto was to think that the law and the law they would have shared. Another one. The Montine is a law in a day as a Tina social Russian or dedication for the
Yeah, so I'll say in order to counteract these biggest problems of not habituating, the way the method to counteract it is to habituate yourself. So habituations is very important. So yeah. So then exam tests also coming, and then quizzes. The quiz also coming. So it's very since we have already sent out 2 quizzes regarding the Heart Sutra already. So and regarding the test, and then regarding the coming quiz, I will send it, and I will tell Sally, and then Sally will explain it to you. So it's very important to continue studying those quizzes, because those quizzes prepare those question and answer, not the whole thing already. So the quizzes already take out those questions and answer, those important points, and then put it in a question and answer format, and then it's easier to read the quizzes. And if you able to continue to read those quizzes, then definitely you will get the benefits.
Draw that the soap lawyer get on Shuri. The draw the lawyer, what that tried to put out to Sushi, so Nanji Shulo the other decent dogma. Nanji Shulo the Dicatu Candinas at Tobat Lematovina, Nanji draw the Tanja loan in the New York, draw Shulo. Draw the Lord, draw the Yaput Lord Sadi, the draw the Katu Shunde, Canadian, and then what's slowly. What did draw the lawyer, you see Shuri, once at the subscription.
Draw Tilend is
draw needs a lawyer pay, show Donaya. The Mrs. Show Pay Chanson. But to show Chambochi, Tosa studying going to Kawata Gunachi, where Hamago Goma to a George Lodi, the Kawaina got Ningachi Hako. Or dip George Lodi, Yabu Shuya still, when patients Suzuki here, Lojo Yabu Pita, which have whichever Shuya is George, so that Jerry went in this Lodi.
Yeah, so regarding reading the question and answer or quizzes is very important. And even those 3 great monasteries like Sarah, Jabon, and Ganden, they also pay great attention in studying quizzes or question and answers as well, because they know that by reading it, it will benefit them. So because if you were to compare reading quizzes or question and answer to reading the text itself, so the later one is more difficult. Like if you read the text, read the original text itself, then you might not know where to focus, and then you do not know the meaning of it, and then you do not know where to look for the answer. And some, when you read it, then you do not even have doubts. So you don't have, because you don't understand, so you also do not have any doubts as well. So however, if you read the question and answer or quizzes, so you already put in such a format that there is a question and there is an answer, right? So when you read the questions, and you can think about the answer, or you can search for the answer in the text as well. So it's easier for us to read question answer than reading the text itself. So if you it's very important, and it's very good to read question and answer and quizzes as well, because by reading it, definitely your knowledge and your studies will improve.
Oh yeah, that
That's all. Yeah. So a question and answer.
I have a 2-part question.
I'm not sure whether I can hear you or not. So you can mute yourself and say something first.
Kwa here, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, keep going to. Yeah.
Hello. You can hear me, is it? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me or not?
We can hear you, Ko.
Hang on. My question is, Kichila, two-part question. First part is that from what I understand from the text, as well as Geshe-la's commentary, it appears to me, or rather I conceive that the sutra is only congruent with the Prasangika view, that things are merely labeled or mere appearances, and the other tenets doesn't fit in. My second part of my question is, therefore, if you look at it from the point of view of dependent arising, which can be explained in three parts. One, depending on causes and conditions. The other one, depending on its parts or references. And the third one, which is the Prasangika view, that things are merely designated or merely labeled. My question is, why is it that I come across that in order to appreciate or understand dependent arising on what that which is merely labeled, we have to realize emptiness first. Whereas from the other lower tenets like dependent arise, like depending on parts and depending on causes, you can practice like that and realize emptiness, but you cannot realize the understanding of the Prasangika view, that things are merely designated, merely labeled, mere appearances. There's nothing else. Why is it said that you cannot understand it until you realize emptiness first? That's my question. You got it, Ken?
I try my best to.
The first part is I think it corresponds with the Prasangika view only in this Heart Sutra. So am I right or not? And my second question, why is it that you must realize emptiness before you can understand what is merely labeled? That's two questions. Yeah.
So the Kongi Chua in the design or is a design Tamboina, and the Kishla, the Kazati, Tewa de Lochita, and the Kishla Shi Tone, and it Kaza Betana Dodi in Kangshebate, and it Kaza Tengu Lula, and it did Tishi Gavionas, Kaza Tengu Lula, and it did Tishi Gaviores, and it Kangshebate, anything it Tongidus, any de Kaza. Kaza Gudeo Mare, Kaza de Ranguadin. So any Koransugi, Shitsuina, de la Jatu Mindus, any de Tata Inas, the Tiwatambo. And Tiwaniba ina, any also the Tindina and Kaza de Jimbada or Jimbasum de Yora, any de Kaza de Kula Tene, Tene Jumata, any de Chashila Tene Jumata, any de Tamate, Mingang Tayo, any de Mingang Tayo said the kaza 당본이 되니 디 kaza 디 하디 kaza 디 또와이나 에는 also yang 동이 디 트렌디 또 두개로 이네 kaza 디 민경 따유 디 또야라 당보 동반이 트렌디 디 또레스 동반이 트렌디 마 또와이나 에네 디 민경 따유 디 트렌디 또 두고 말레스 에네 가리제네스 야나 디 디시 겨로나 지와 당보 디 kaza 시아니모이 도디 thank you edi lula is sungyonas
네 다시는 뭐 가서 단주 팀원 많이 만들어와 대차도 그래 그래서 랑지 버드서 이나 싫은 뭐 저한테 진도 캐는 거와 다 단주와라 가서 뭔데 진도 나 차는 거라디
녜정기도
뭔데 진도 차는 싫은
랑게 바이나 디
단주 뭔데 진도라 지금 나디 그와 나 간다 싫은 뭐디 저 간다 단주 엄마 단주 따와 타도 되게 시고 또 맞다 저런 뭐 진짜 저거 동반이로와 다 동반이 계제 시고리 딱 간다 최단제랑 이지 뭐 저거 또 치네 근데 지가 루제데로와 최단제랑 이지 뭐 저거 또 시에 또들이 딱 가서 랑지 버스에 뭐마이나 최 랑이 저거 킬리는 거 최단제랑 그 진지 저거 랑이 저거 킬리는 거 또 킬리고 랑지 랑이 저거 랑이 진지 저거 참아 킬리는 다 단주와 그때 가샤차도 바꿔고야 동반이 되는 거네 다 싫은 뭐 가다 공방하고 대다자로 이 동반나 봤다고 시다디 송으로 당분이만 다치 공방하고 받지안에 때 참말만 다 미미 나와서 참나 마다로 이 집이 동안 마 시월 창자 당가서 시월 된가서 풍봉가다 진지존이다 컴조지다 맞아 랑이 쪽에 동반이 땡라 파서기 시대 마시고 당자
자콘다 땡라 파사
동반이 땡라 파야기 시대 가르스나 시대 동시 지제됐다 풍봉가다 진지존이 컴조지에서 대시월 어때 다 풍봉가다 컴조지 상마데 동시대 마 땡라 파오디 다 대다 강가다 변나 땡 랑이 쪽에 동아래 에세 때마레레 마잔 시월도
동시 가자 데 동반이 땡라 파베 시대 땡기로
시대 동반 땡라 파서기 시대
동시 데 땡라 파베
동시 땡라 파고 동시스나 최진스나 데리 간다 최진 어디다 타지와 팀모 메이바 시월스테 정말 다레스
뒤에 담보데로
담보데
yeah so to answer to your first questions yeah, that is true. Yeah, it is according to the Prasangika Madhyamika views, because Heart Sutra for Prasangika Madhyamika, it is a definitive, a sutra of definitive meaning. However, for Svadantika Madhyamika, Heart Sutra is sutra of interpretable meaning. Yeah, so so it is following so it is in accordance with the Prasangika Madhyamika views, and yeah, so it shows the ultimate view of Prasangika Madhyamika that all phenomena are lacking of inherent existence. So this is the main discussions in the Heart Sutra, right? And for Svadantika Madhyamika, they do accept that phenomena exist inherently. They do accept that phenomena exist by way of its own characteristics. However, these for Prasangika Madhyamika are objects of refutations. So basically, Heart Sutra talks about the ultimate view of that is in accord with the Prasangika Madhyamika. That's why in the Heart Sutra it says that you should view those 5 aggregates of empty of inherent existence. Not only the 5 aggregates, also the 12 sources and 18 elements as well. So it shows the basis. It shows the basis to ascertain emptiness. So they are the basis, basis of, and one has to ascertain the basis of emptiness. So basically, yeah, it is according to the Prasangika Madhyamika view.
다 좋아니바도 저런 것도 미저 다여서 저기 우리 지난 와 땡데라 지기 전에 아주 땡데라를 타서 두서래 가서 주진라 되게 땡데다 차시서 다시를 땡게 땡데 다 하나 또비 바다서 땡데 다 미저 다여서 된다 되래 또비 바다서 다 또비 바다서 땡데는 가서 단주와 마도 다 신다게 데 두요 말이 데 되나도 못 쓰요 말이 다 단주와 이모 많이 막 또비 바다서지 최단지 또비 파다자 이제 파다장세 로게 주제데 이 파 또비기 파다바장래 마디 이 크랑 원에 측두바지 자원이네 요 말에서 에딜로야 맞아 단주가 배샤오데
유랑원에
이 크랑 원에 측두바지 도비지 요 말에서 니 지요 말에 또비기 파스네 따바레스 파스네 따바레 단주 밀로라 배샤오에 타타라 배샤고 타바 차와라 타바 차오데 아빠 저거데 배 미시기 나오디 타바데 드나시다 지다 차진다서 저리요래 드나시 나오디 다 드나시 나오디 아빠 코란 원에 저기 세시 세와데 주야 덤비지 요 말한다 끔지 요 말다 네 주랑 요 말다 또바 코란기 파스야 저래 간다 또바 코란기 파 세녀마다 코란 원에 덤비지 주야 요 말. 맞아 다 백이라고 로그 말에 다 깜지 백이라고 가도 봐와 타타 코랑 원에 다탑 되나 저기 세시라고 지 게지 코르니아 요 말. 덤비지 요 말다 간다 타타 된다. 또비 파 세버와 너희 파 세야죠. 근데 대나시리에서 단주기 또비 파다 잡마다 코랑 원에 저 덤비지 주야면 배나 타라를 빼잖아요. 가서 다 제일마 가서 라리를 가샤가도 저 제바 내거로 와. 어디 빼샤워. 맞아 란지 버스이나 디위심 따라라 빼자는 시고래 정말이 되는데 디위심 따라다 이슈 다 보고 차르서
이리디가자 이리디
민자 다이도 마타리
민가 다이디 또야라 아니디 담보 도메이디 또라 아소 yeah, so regarding your second questions, that is true. Dependent arising is of 3 levels. So it's of 3 levels. The causes, like the first one is causal dependency, and the second one is part dependency, and the last one is the dependent arising that is merely imputed by conceptual thoughts. So in other words, it is imputedly existence or a label dependency. So the last one, which is the highest highest level of dependent arising, and it is realized only by the Prasangika Madhyamikas. Other schools, they are unable to realize it. So when we say that it is merely imputed by conceptual thought, means that there is nothing from the object side could exist by way of its own power. So there is nothing from the object side could exist by way of its own power or exist by way of its own characteristics. So to give you an example to explain this to illustrate this is a very famous example. What's it called? Colored ropes. Colorful ropes. I forgot the words already. Molted ropes or something like that. So the colorful ropes. So under certain circumstances, so when it appears to the eye consciousness, and it appears as a snake. So under certain circumstances, then it appears as a snake. So however, there is nothing from the object side could establish the characteristics of the snake. Yeah, so there is nothing from the object side could establish the characteristic of the snake. It is merely imputed by the conceptual thoughts. Only the conceptual thoughts projects the snake on the basis of the colorful rope. So however, there is nothing from the object side could establish the characteristics of the snake. 다시 풍부나 때네 다다장
다바사레마도 다시 풍부 응에네 세바이나 다다세와다 다지 풍부 쓰인다 때나 가와이나 세시 dum상지 내야요 말해서 다간다
신당 뚜라나 셈모에데
센스다 저 하고 셈 다시 풍부기 때다 때다 센스다 디 찌라라고 그러니까 디 떠올라
이거네 가나니 풍부 이거네
다 내야요 말해서 다 또비 간달로 따바탄지 마도 요 말해서 다 배샤들와
Yeah, so besides these, using these colorful rows as an example, so then to illustrate that this self, so this self is merely imputed in dependence on the basis of imputation, which is the aggregates. Self is merely imputed by the conceptual thoughts on the basis of imputation, which is the aggregates, and there is nothing from the object side or the basis of imputation side, which is the aggregates. So there is nothing from the aggregates, from the side of the aggregates that you can find you can find I or you can find self. Even if you go and search for the I or search for the self in the basis of imputations, you will never be able to find the object that you search for, which is I or self. It is merely imputed or labeled by the conceptual thoughts.
다 단타 세다 나서다 가서 랑시 주바들이 그러와
Data set.
단타 세와
Mm.
랑시 주바데 세네 다 첸다 민장 세와 다요 세와 되게 다 첸다 다 랑시 주바 매바이나야 타니도 매바 많이 봐 첸다 세는 그래서 타니디가 그러와 타니 매바 많이 봐 첸다
Zawane meba de segi.
디세 그래서 다민 덴디 다 최단지 민자 다요 또 와이나 다 동반이 때문에 또 올라 간다
Ini di kasa mingyang tayo de to ya la tambo tongmani de to goyena. Kwangi de.
동반이 또 어디다 민자 다요서 또는 거래 최근가 동반이 또 어디다 민자 다요서 간다 단주를 하나로 와 단주를라 단주를라 배 동반이 또 어디다 시티라 바자바이나 다 부모다 부모제가 동반이 또 어디다 부모 되니 민자 다요서 이 받도는 거
공보기 민gyang tayo.
민자 다요서 이 받도는 거래 어디 그 동반이 되게 또 어디 민자 다요서 이 되게 또 오래
Ini diang kasa tingwe la to gore di jela to gore di yo maro.
그 자게 말이서
Di tongmani to la mingyang tayo de tambo to gore yang na mingyang tayo to la tambo tongmani de to gore.
민자 다요 또 와이나 동반이 또 오래 동반이 되게 또 어디다 민자 다요 이 받도는 거 봐.
Di tingyu we lu la ro.
단주를 딱 민자 다요서 단주 엄마도 신도 시세요.
That's right. Yeah, so then when we talk about merely because the label merely labeled dependency or imputedly existence by mere names, merely imputedly existence by mere name. So mingyang tayo, this is a very famous Tibetan words. So imputedly existence by mere name. So mere name eliminates the eternalism. So mere names of this term imputedly existent by mere name. So mere name eliminates the eternalism. So eternalism here basically refers to the inherent existence. And tayo means imputed existence. So imputed existence eliminates the nihilism. So nihilism means that since it doesn't exist inherently, it doesn't exist at all. So it removes this nihilism of thinking that since it doesn't exist inherently, it doesn't exist at all. So this imputed existence by mere name, eliminates the two extremes. So then you ask about in order to realize imputed existence by mere name, one has to first realize emptiness. So then Geshe-la explained that if you realize emptiness, you also realize that aggregates is an imputed existence by mere name. And if you realize that aggregate is imputed existence by mere name, then you realize the emptiness of the aggregates. So if you realize one, then you also realize the other. So it doesn't one becomes the cause. One comes earlier, one comes later. No.
Thank you, Geshe-la. So the aspect of Dhammakaya, the
we cannot hear you again.
You cannot hear me again. Sorry. Can you now? Sorry. Can you now?
Yeah, now. Yeah, sorry.
Can now? Yes, just the last part of my question is the Savabhikakaya, the aspect of suchness nature of the Dhammakaya. The suchness nature is permanent, it's always there, it's never been not there, but it's still dependent on arising. So in other words, it's still merely imputed, right? So that part I cannot understand. Can Geshe-la give some insight over that?
What kaya is that? Sorry.
The Savabhikakaya, the suchness nature. The Dhammakaya has got two aspects, right? The wisdom aspect, the wisdom symbolizing aspect, and the suchness nature. The suchness nature is always there, but how is it that it is also dependent on arising, or it's also merely labeled? That's what I can understand. Got it?
Yeah.
The suchness nature is there, it's permanent, it's like a sky. The space is always permanent, but how do I understand that it's also not inherently existing? That it is also a mere label or a mere designation or merely not there, not inherently there.
Yeah. So kisla de konani yoro. De konani se de an namka nangshin ro tabari. De konani ne tabaina.
대 코난이 더 가서 나지 돈이 단지랬어.
동이
대 코난이 돈이 용도 세다. 근데 지금 대 코난이서 돈이를 보고 있어. 돈이라.
동지래. 애니 가자 대 konani se de de konani를 안에 de konani se de tabaina kisla.
돈이 따바로 와.
동이 de taba로 와. 애니 de taba de yoro 와 이라. 애니 양 taba yimba taba yin 가자 yinele 양 찐디 yim바다. 민경 따유 임바 아니 딩이고 주마 송사
민자 따에서도 최 강가 민자 따에서 해서
예 이니 대한 따바 임발라
따바이나 민자 따에서 해 간디나 다 따바스는 가도 버 거다시 난가 무슨 난가데 따바 예스로 가도 버러나 거디고지나 다 난가 따바리 민자 따에서 해서
이니 디 민경 따유 인수 간디지레
민자 따와도
간디지레
민자 따와도 인수데 코라 랑을 좀 버드사야 말 간다 오비 파다사리 다 된다데레 랑인 좀 버드사야 말했어 그런 면에 좀 싸우니 영화 또 파다사리 해서 디디 이제 일단 민자 따에서 해서 저 방지
디토비 파다자메
또 파다사리
딘디이나
딘디이나 대가리다 더 최탄지 딘디
남가다 보이나 디 따바리니 양 딘디 인수데 간디지나
딘디 인수데 능하테랑기 차실때 다시 딘디 두버와 딘디서 왔다가 가서 주진라 디지지 최 강가다 주진라 딘디 주 딘데레 디지지 최 강가다 주진라 딘디 주 딘데 다대 마체 차시다 다시 딘고서 딘고여와 다 빠빠 강가다 주진라 딘디 주 딘데 차고요 말에 다 차시다 다시라 딘디 주 마세 딘데 차
차시라 딘데
차시다 다시라 딘디 주 딘데
두지나 딘이가 여바제
단디jel은 소이
숨바 여바제 yeah so so even has it the suchness or space is a permanent phenomena, right? So even though they are permanent phenomena, they are also imputed. So regarding the suchness, so I'm not sure whether I translate correctly or not into Tibetans. So however, tekonani when you translate it into English is called suchness. So and this suchness basically has the same meaning as emptiness. So I'm not sure whether I most probably I didn't get the Tibetan words. So however, when we say sky, so as you mentioned just now, sky is also a permanent phenomena. So and it is dependent arising. So when we talk about phenomena is of two types, right? One is impermanent phenomena. So impermanent phenomena, it is a causal dependency. It is also parts dependency, and the last one definitely. And however, for the permanent phenomena, it doesn't have the causal dependency. So permanent phenomena is still a dependent arising. So it is a part dependency as well. So because it is it arises in dependence on its parts. So that is a permanent phenomena. Then namkaina diang kaza rangi chashila tene chashila tene. Yeah. So like sky then arises in dependence on its part. So therefore it is a part dependency, and it is a label dependency as well, because space, there is nothing exists inherently from the object side or from the space side. It is merely imputed by the conceptual thoughts. Therefore, space, even a permanent phenomena like space, it is a part dependency, and it is also a label dependency as well. So this is how they are part dependency and label dependency, because it depends on its part, and because it is merely labeled by the conceptual thoughts, there is nothing exists inherently from the object side.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you very much for the kindness.
Maybe I ask my first question first.
Anyone talking? Otherwise,
yes.
If you're talking, then I cannot hear you anymore. Again, sorry.
Big pin here.
Anyone talking?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Ken?
Anyone
Ken
asking? Dr. Go, you say something?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yang kau yung dulu.
I
Sorry,
type.
sorry. Can
Yeah, thank you.
Hello? Can.
yes. Toto, can you hear me?
Can you hear now? I type my question anyway. Just now you were saying, Geshe-la said that the common prologue is common for perfection of wisdom sutra only. My understanding is this common prologue with 4 excellences are common to all Buddha's teaching, all sutra. But just now you translated as only perfection of wisdom sutra.
所以练习通过有了意思啦。练习通过完呢，的其实啦，当今的写文那些，因为的给大家都会对起那边那些些啦，因为的下面我也写信也多了，因为的通过完，应当因为的练习通过的写属于送有吧，因为样空气当最呢样的多汤嘛啦。都唱嘛啦，样的通过完的，应当的的练习通过的这个。
三级中的那个当本多的。就是各都的，他们的给那个特别地区呢，是的小学生。但我这些人你们都基本嘛的写信到看看了，有的是，写信到看看了，有个嘛，有那都现在了没个嘛了。都看看，既然你都看看个丢的，上级第什么了吧？我们本来各都啊不是这个，他们的给那个特别地区呢，是第上去我是来，我第上是那更多他们了有的吧？第有的是给有嘛
？Yeah. So just now when I say that it is common to sutra to other sutras of perfection, other perfection of wisdom sutra doesn't mean that how to say excludes other sutras from having these, or is not common to other sutra which is not a perfection of wisdom sutra. So because this is the approved words, right? And Buddha said that when you compile my words, when you compile my words. At least, so it is called the approved words or words added with the permissions of Buddha. So yeah, it is common to other sutra as well, to all sutra.
In the
I have a question.
I think internet also.
You read on the chat box.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. Margaret here.
Okay.
Margaret here?
Yes.
Okay, my question here is, when just now you said perfection of wisdom realizes emptiness, okay? So the word emptiness is actually dependent origination. So perfection of wisdom realizes dependent origination it is clearer than say emptiness, right?
Okay. Ini kasa tongi tobe sheshin yoro isla. Tongi tobe sheshin na ini di tongi se tiang tende ro. Ini tiang kasa tende tobe sheshin de lamna ini di tera mariwes laptang di.
Ini muares. Tende soal ngaso tomba ni dusi jadi pas soal jadi. Tende soal ngaso cerita je rangi jadi tomba dusi jadi. Jadi yodo betul tende tu. Tende tu dusi jadi.
두지. ini di kata tongi ne dujare.
다 동반이 누구라 최상직 되는 최상직이 되다 최상직랑 이 주변 동반에 이제 이 두야 전체계야 또 타투데 된데 다 된데 들어가서 이게 공도 거의 나서서 지난 차라送的东西送여러 와我这边南西把他们会写的看到
kata ni di kata tende dang ni 동반이 ne di kasa kapti ni di
tende la 동이 다네요 말이지 네 말
tenji 자고 ni de la
tende la 동이 동반 되지나 때가서 대대배 동반이라고 동반이 말아 대대 tende로 와 tende로 와 대대 tende에 두시 최근가 tende로 와 두시 최근가 동이에서 나요 말아
ini di 동반이 말아. di 동반이 말아. So yeah, so perfection of wisdom realizing emptiness and then you say that the dependent emptiness is dependent arising, then isn't it clearer to say that perfection of wisdom realizing dependent origination arising, right? So however, emptiness and dependent originations or arising, they are not synonym. They are not synonyms. So because dependent arising is the ultimate reasoning to prove emptiness. Because dependent arising is the ultimate reasoning to prove or reason to prove emptiness. So therefore, they are not synonymous. So, like for example, I have a book here. So I can say this book is dependent arising, but I cannot say this book is emptiness, right? Yeah. So using this as an example, so Geshe-la said that they are not synonymous, because if I were to say that this book is dependent arising, yes, it is. This book is dependent arising, but I cannot say this book is emptiness. Yeah, therefore they are not synonymous.
So when you say emptiness, when you put it to me, I'm simple in this way. The perfection of wisdom realizes emptiness. This emptiness can be nihilism, can be extreme, but if it's just not depending on origination, then I do not know how it ties there. Sorry.
Yeah, you mean emptiness of nihilism and emptiness of eternalism?
Yeah, I mean the emptiness, the perfection of wisdom realizes emptiness of the aggregate meaning label.
Mm-hmm.
Emptiness of what?
Oh, ale. Ya, kata di tongmani tobe sheshin di yoro. Ini di yang kare gi tongni resa. Yang kata di kata pumbo gi tongmani tobe sheshin di ni segi wana yang na kare gi tongni yang na kata yang tata gi tongni na yang na de chita gi tongni na.
Tatu tongni de ngaso tongni tosa ge shira ni bal tongni tosa ge shidi pumbo nga jeji joni kan puji sala yewa. Ta kanda 东西的楼的，他搞的给他多巴伊那简单历史的，풍부给他东尼多巴伊那的，经济中的给他东尼多巴伊那，些信息对的东尼多比的些信了，你几把几讲来看的，풍부给他东尼多比些信，经济中的给他东尼多比些信，康州给他东尼多比些信，这都他妈了，他东尼多比些信的加上我的是对的。
下面我那的东西的啊，
东西的他们的路的，东西的吧，哦。东巴你多把那些东西级的店的多过来嘛，东巴你多样嘛的。东巴你当不现在你们东巴你店了，就像做结尾的，就像做其实个东西出现的开始忙不休息了哇，东巴啊，就是叫你看就的店了跑跑的也是，这东西出现的嘞，东西出现的店了跑你的对的东巴你的店了跑过来看的。
Yeah, so so if you say that the perfection of wisdom realizing emptiness, right? So like if you based on Heart Sutra, then the basis of emptiness is 5 aggregates, 12 sources, and 18 elements. So basically, then you can link these words to the word emptiness. So like for example, perfection of wisdom realizing the emptiness of 5 aggregates, perfection of wisdom realizing the emptiness of 12 sources and 18 elements. So if you realize emptiness, any of these, whether it's the 5 aggregates or realize the emptiness of 12 sources, is fine. Yeah, so however, in order to realize emptiness, you must have a basis of emptiness.
Okay.
Geshe-la, I have a question.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. From what we have read from other commentaries, it says that the Heart Sutra is an explicit teaching on emptiness and implicitly on bodhicitta. And I understand that the bodhicitta part is when Sariputra asks the question for Avalokiteshvara to answer. And of course, at the end of it, there's an exhortation how it's important to train in this way. Geshe-la also mentions very often how we should meditate on the emptiness aspect of the Heart Sutra. Can Geshe-la also give some advice how we can also meditate on the bodhicitta part of the Heart
Is an
Sutra.
Heart Sutra.
Yes.
So, any the Dewa Shida any the logic any charming boy na the kangu sui na the dong yi the tengi orwa. Any shu lai na the changshu ki same the tengi oresa.
저도 된 거, 다시 된 거라.
다시 니가 the tengi orwa.
저도 된 거.
Jida any the kishla yang the tabang to the tomani the bomba the kata komba la the yang kimbo yorwa. Any charming boy la tene any the tomani komba orwa isla. Any yang the charming boy la tene 장축이 된 곰땅 지시겨로나
다 저런 볼 때는 간다. 나도 장주기 생다 제비 차서 차워와. 저런 보 제자 소어디 동바들에마도 장주기 생다 니지 상박도 된 거래서 그래.
근데 양게 또는
저런 보 제자 소어디 동바니 된 거래마도 된 거래 이나 장주기 생다 장바 니지도 된 거라서나 된 거래서라고. 된 거래서 맞아. 근데 뭐에서 땜바다 또 땜바다 슈라 땜바다 샤라 땜바다 그 뭐뭐 이거로와 맞아 산지긴도 인신제라 배치다 가서 에들이 다시 네가다 맞대 맞추는 멜로고 띵그래서 산지긴도 인신제라 다시니 맞대 맞요 말했어 다 이노 다시니 땡나다 거라 수수수수 저자수소야 동반이 대단하다 아 들이 제발 이거 들이 건 대반하지 대한 들이 지어래 지난 맞아 싫은 보게 간다 다시 야마다가 땡그리 해서 다시 네가 땡그리 했어.
니네 대샤님보라 때네 장축이 셈 공수 디 간디 공거이나.
다디 가서 셔런이보라 때네 가서 배 셔런이보라 때우디 가르치 땡고서 가냐네 가르치고서나 차다 모습에 또 미스긴 고 다가나 마리바들 카티 짜고로 와. 다 마리바들 카티 짜고디 다 마리바 되기 배 님이 강가서 성당 간다. 마리바 되기 님이 다 마리바 대왕의 님이 가르쳐도 마리바 대왕의 풍조다 나제다 차도人生 레고 다 마리바 대왕의 풍조 나자 대차 아주 레고디 다 소라 가른 님부 때고도 님이를 성당에 다 풍조라이나 카도 상바라 성당과 상바 공부와 상바공 왜 상바공이 안 대샤나 하정들레고디 대샤들랑 가서 모두가 공부해야다 근데 요거로 와 또 세비 공부해 대대 하장게 마리바 대왕게 배 동아의 신체가 배 동아들이 대라 하장 민제다 샴발레고로 오 딘디진 레벨 가서 줄세야 상담이 가서 저런님을 가샤 쏘다 마리바 들어와 동니 동반이 저 때라 파우디 이 가샤 쏘다 가르가가서 마리바 대 가고 마리바 대 가라 마리바 대 쥐다 하고 쥐대 아까 마리바디기 쥐대 대대 차다모스 제로로 와 차다모스 제로 대 마지에 같이 잡으라 샹바들 인지 같이 레고로 와 드리지 상당 대야 된다 슈라 대나 부스 레고
공조다 보이나 대 장바 공야도
대고로 와
인디 장심진다 보이나 대 마리바다 나나 대对차기 도 가서 나웨 디 심진이 저 인게기야
인게 레고로 와 대대 투산 마리바도 셔런님은 가서 쏘도 마리바래 동반이 마리바디 카티 네보들 동반이 때나 보고라 동반이 또 비시들 때나 보고디 마리바자 카티 자 쪼서 왔다 카티 자 그냥 전세나 하고 와 마리바디 이미 가려 뒤에 상담이 예 림바기 두슬레고다 다 저바기 상담다 달려
yeah so so in so your question is how to meditate on bodhicitta based on Heart Sutra, right? So it is true that Heart Sutra the explicit object of discussion is about emptiness. However, implicitly, as you said, implicitly it also talks about, it also teaches the body, loving kindness, bodhicitta, and compassion as well. So, as long as it is a Buddha teaching, or as long as it is a sutra, Buddha's teaching, as long as it is a Buddha's teaching, there is it is taught in the manner of the method and wisdom are taught indivisibly. As long as it is a Buddha's teachings, method and wisdom are taught indivisibly. So how to meditate on the Heart Sutra, how to meditate on bodhicitta in dependence on the Heart Sutra is, so Heart Sutra talked about emptiness, right? Talks about emptiness, that we have to develop wisdom realizing emptiness. So, and why we have to develop wisdom realizing emptiness? Because it is the antidote to counteract ignorance. So ignorance, in order to counteract ignorance, then you have to understand the faults of ignorance. You have to understand the disadvantage of ignorance. So by knowing and understanding the faults and disadvantage of ignorance, then the disadvantage such as from ignorance, other afflictions arise such as attachment, anger, and pride, for example. So when anger arises, what antidotes you have to cultivate what antidotes you have to cultivate? Then you have to cultivate loving kindness in order to counteract or suppress the anger, right? So you cultivate different antidotes to afflictions respectively. So that part itself already talks about you already linked to the cultivating loving kindness and compassion to sentient beings already, because from ignorance there comes other afflictions. So in order to counteract these afflictions such as anger, then you have to cultivate loving kindness. So this part already talks about cultivations of love and compassion already. And other than that, besides that, then you can also think about sentient beings who are tormented by afflictions such as ignorance. So then you generate loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta towards those sentient beings. So thinking in this way, then you cultivate bodhicitta in dependence on Heart Sutra.
第三个要不当呢，浪子，第是哈，我要第是来他不老些，但是东北的些人呢不，东北的点了破的了啊，东北的点了马里不点了，他多呀个看的家的东北的些了啊，我是东北的些了啊，马里不多呀的，但马里不的我说东北的多不了，我说嘎下马里不的我说当不眼熟的，嘎下眼熟的是这样有大家来了啊，我马里不的多个个军事卡了嘞是呢。Maripate Makabaina, Maripa Teji, the Kunto Naja Kana de Levorua. Maripate Dogdi, the Maripate Dogdi, Maripa Dewage, Kunto the Naja Levore, the Kunto Naja the Nepa Dogiba, Stingore, Nepa Dogiba. Kunto Naja the Nepa Doyala, Kunto Naja the Nepa Kawala, Shambada, Sebata Ninja Silevua, Shula de Udua. Shamba, Kunto Kayala, they can't Shamba Gunga, the Deudua. 다 마리바 수공에서 가 대시우니 또 군조다 나자 참아 가고로와 군조 까라 군조대 파마이 까와라 다 샴발레도와 뭐 샴바 어디 세와지 되니지 에 답에 동네 신체라 하장에 동아진에 신체라 간다 도주 잡고에 네세 생년바도서 가야라 다 간다 인지레오로와 Oh, the region, the Shula days, the concept of the level. To that new stays lower, and I told them about my new stays lower.
You should thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Shula, thank you.
That was the two Shula timber as but the most thing was a thing with as low.
Yeah, Musu, thank you. Yeah. So when we say, like, for example, Heart Sutra, does it explicitly teaches about emptiness, but it also implicitly talks about the method side, like for example, the cultivations of loving kindness and compassion. So you can say that sutra like Heart Sutra do how to explicitly thank you. Yeah. So you can also say that sutra like Heart Sutra also explicitly teaches the method aspect as well. So like cultivations of loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, they are part of they belongs to the method aspect, right? So thinking in this way is might be easier. So basically, we have to generate wisdom, realizing emptiness in order to counteract ignorance. So why do we have to counteract ignorance? Then you know about the faults, you know about the disadvantages, and the faults and disadvantages, such as if we do not counteract ignorance or eliminate ignorance, other afflictions will arise. If other afflictions arises, then we have to, when other affliction arise, then we have to apply antidotes to those afflictions, right? Such as cultivations of love in order to counteract anger. And And then you also have to generate patience when you anger arises. So those are the method effects. So similarly, and you also generate compassion to those sentient beings who are tormented by afflictions. They are they are in a very wretched state as well. Like for example, having a harmful intentions. So they are then you generate compassion towards them.
Thank you. Oh, that's
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you.
Thank you. That is a Samala cutting chase. That here anybody wants to pay. Give us some money. Sama pay. Give us some money. Choose Kanda. Share anybody. Sawa. Choose Sama Senam. Denvaji. Dendi Chad. Mazu Senan. Mevaina. Share anybody. Kanda. Nyali Chiada. Sama to the. Those Chia Kale. Oka Kale Kaburua. That's Sama Kanda. Sena Yobachi Dendi Rua.
Yeah, so thank you very much. We stop here. So very kind. Thank you to all of you. You are very kind that we have the opportunity to study Heart Sutra and able to finish the Heart Sutra as well. So we should consider ourselves very fortunate, very lucky, and it also shows that we have the merit to study and then to practice accordingly as well. Otherwise, if we do not have enough merit, we will not even find the opportunity to study and practice Heart Sutra.
Niang los papa nyuda doya tang adi niba nyangta da tuzo da kanda roba chini da mesha bada memba da pinju utulu roba chini konan da sama kanda teri nime dichi pisu zoba pa yuwa sanji chikumba nyuda doya niri chidi pa nguya chida dan dani dila pa shidi yuwa dan jiwa shi neba la ma yuwa o niri pa geza nguya chini yin hapa da kanda da nga zo mala shi nano da kanda chung shawa inanda Neva inanda to so panye de to da songa yabo alo yuwata da geda kwa che kan ni pa sama pa to ya da da misigi mazo de wa to bi chiso da de wa to bi member sama re de kona na ma de de sama pa da ni jin nan de ina to so panye de to ya da da chele ni de wa to bi chen de na che ko to me sa ti pa da panje ji ko pa nye de to ya o de di che pa da ge za ngwa shi
So we conclude this with dedication. We conclude this with dedications. We dedicate the roots of virtue that we have accumulated since beginningless time, especially through these Dhamma discussions. We dedicate these roots of virtue to Buddha's teachings to spread in all 10 directions and for all sentient beings to experience happiness, excellent happiness. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teachings, represented by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We dedicate these roots of virtue for their long life, for their excellent health, and for their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished continuously and spread in all 10 directions. In particular, we dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May Rinpoche may Rinpoche's live eons long, excellent health, and may Rinpoche's enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all 10 directions. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail throughout the whole world, and may the pandemic, wars, conflict, disaster, natural disaster be ceased immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who passed away and those who suffer because of wars, conflict, pandemic, disaster. So may their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who help others, such as doctors, nurses, and those who help others financially. May they live long, good health, and may their good wishes be accomplished instantaneously without any obstacles. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to Malaysia people, Malaysian, and then for your good business, and then for your good careers, and then for Malaysians in general, so who are sick, and then may they regain health as soon as possible and be free of obstacles. And in particular, we also dedicate these roots of virtue to our LVT members, our friends and family members and relatives, and those friends and etc. So may they have good health, and may they have good health, and may their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment.
Ken, for auspiciousness, can Geshe-la read one verse of the Heart Sutra again?
Any take as dindi giche do and sharing mo ye kola the Kazan and Yunji Lona Diguna. Only Canada Lotaro.
Yeah. Java give up Bangawa, the Kenya Bara, the Bega, the Jundian, the Machine, the Geta get about teaching that on the Jabi Shaka, again, condition with the Shakus and the condition. Taji the Fide days, the Tunin is one of the Chicken, not the thing and by Shakus or your dates. Doggy engineers of
the Gewa, the Tendan Roa, Kula, Kambe, Nankewa, Jizun, Lozan, Java, Tembening Borin to Sage, Janchusen Jorin, Boji, Makebana, Kikuji, Keba, Yama, Mebaya, Kondo, Bewa, Jambi, Bawa, Jita, Chimbana, Kundo, Sambote, and the Tida, Kungi, Jesu, Dalo, Jekiwa, Teda, Tamje, Rapto, Tongi, Tawa, Rimboji, Makebana, Kikuji, Keba, Yama, Mebaya, Kondo, Bewa, Rimi, Tawa, Rimboji, Makebana, Kikuji, Keba, Yama, Mebaya, Konde, do pewa sho to change jamil gewe so to bo de chodong ku le me du du ba ta do je gun do cha pe sho tong yin je sun du be lang chi chi de kan chi jin de cha na be mo ten ting ga to la to wa de do chen de le do sho ande pen de ma lo ba ka le ju we sam be shin no ka ni su me ten ting ga so la to wa de do de Ari ra we ko we shin gan de pen dan de wa ma lu ju we ne che se wa ten ting ga so we sha pe si de pa tu teng lu